episode on the Fashion Fables podcast. Today, I am welcoming Brooke, holistic health enthusiast and influencer. Brooke, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Olivia. I'm so excited.
So let's get started. Brooke, if you could talk a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm 24 years old. I'm from Rhode Island. I moved to New York City after college, and I actually just moved back during COVID, but I'm waiting to go back to the city. My full-time position, I'm actually a fashion stylist, and I do that full-time, but on the side, I've been starting an Instagram for health and wellness. During COVID, I kind of felt like I needed a second hobby and a space to go. So I enrolled in the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and I became a certified holistic health coach. So that's kind of my passion that has been consuming every day of my full-time job.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I love that how you have like a bunch of different passions and how you're kind of executing them in different ways and kind of like not settling to one thing, kind of branching out more. I think that's super important to kind of broaden your horizons and just kind of learn new things.
Yeah, definitely having an outlet and two different spaces that you can put your energy towards is definitely fun and helpful.
For sure. So when did you realize your passion for a healthy lifestyle and what inspired you to create your health account? You kind of touched on this a little bit, but if you have like anything else to say.
So I've always kind of been into health and wellness. When I was little, my family always jokes I would cry when I saw meat like on Thanksgiving and stuff like that. I was never really okay with eating animals. I kind of got over that, but I've actually never had red meat. That's like my go-to fun fact in icebreakers. But it kind of turned into a real passion in college. I started getting really debilitating stomach aches that would consume like my weeks, and it was just really frustrating. I was in and out of gastro offices just kind of trying to figure out what was wrong with my stomach, and they just wanted to put me on different prescriptions and drugs to help the problem, and I felt like that was kind of putting a Band-Aid on a real issue. So I was diagnosed with IBS and a gluten sensitivity, which I know a lot of people in the health and wellness space can relate to. I feel like a lot of people are realizing they have these problems. But it kind of led into obsessive behaviors and a little bit of orthorexia, which is just kind of an obsession with clean eating. And I started to feel like it was taking over my everyday relationship with food and my body, and it was really frustrating. So I kind of just went down a path trying to figure out what works for me. And creating my health account, I started when I was enrolled in Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And I just kind of wanted a space to put everything I was learning just for myself, and then sharing it with my friends and my family and whoever else wanted to follow along. I felt like I could help some people. And even if I helped one person, that just is all I really wanted to do.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing your story. I think it's very brave of you to kind of open up about that. I personally feel like it can be hard, especially with all the types of, I feel like influencers out there that kind of promote this like healthy lifestyle can sometimes turn to more of like an obsessive like thing that you feel like you need to follow just because they like claim that it works for them. But like, and I've also kind of struggled with that, but like at the end of the day, I kind of just tell myself that everyone's body is different, and like no matter if you or I eat the same thing, our bodies are gonna like react to it differently, just because like we're like two different people, and like biologically, like that's just like how it is. And I feel like I've also struggled with that, where like you kind of want to maintain this like perfect or like ideal body image just because kind of like it's like the norm in like society, and you feel like you have to live up to that. And it's kind of like, I don't know, kind of mess with like my head almost, and kind of feeling like, oh, like no, like I have to eat this because if not, like I'm gonna like gain weight or something like that. It's just like this like hard thing that like it's like a mental struggle, and I feel like it takes like strength to kind of like overcome that, and like for you to kind of wanting to share that through your platform and help others, I think is really inspiring, because I feel like it's not really talked enough, but like eating disorders do like exist. And I think that like you providing a space for that is really like helpful, and you may not even know, but like you're reaching and helping people in like ways like unimaginable.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I really want, because I understand how consuming it can be, and comparing yourself is so easy online. I mean, working in the fashion space, it's really hard, and I can see how much it impacts everyone. And it's just really important to realize, like you said, what may work for me might not work for you. That's something that is mentioned all the time in nutrition school. It's one man's poison, or I forget the quote, but one man's food is another man's poison. You really have to tune into yourself and realize what works for you. And that goes along with gut health and stomach aches, if that's what you struggle with, or if it's more of how you look and how you want to look. Just realizing that what works for one person might not work for you. And it's all about figuring that out yourself.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. So, what keeps you motivated each day to become the best version of yourself?
I think just feeling good in my own body and feeling confident that I'm treating myself the best that I can is really all that motivates me. I know showing up for yourself and being the best version of yourself also is really important to the people around you and the people who care about you. I don't want to go into a day feeling like my mood would bring another person's down, or worrying your friends, worrying your family, your partner, whoever you're with that day. I think it's really important to just tune into yourself and make sure that you are showing up for yourself, and then you can show up for others too.
I agree. I feel like kind of there needs to be more kindness in the world. I feel like sometimes people are always so quick to judge, and like I just feel like doing what makes you happy might not be like, I feel like everything is like what works for like the person personally. And so I think that there should be more support of other people's decisions, and kind of like, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to be happy, and that means something different to each and every person. I think being happy is like a goal that everyone wants to be happy, and everyone needs to find what makes them happy, whether it be like a passion or like a hobby or something like that. I think your life will be like so much more purposeful if you do find what makes you happy. And it can take like a short period of time, but it can also take a long period of time. But I feel like when you do find what makes you happy, then you feel so fulfilled, and it's just like an awesome feeling that I feel like everyone needs to kind of find eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's the smallest thing that you do for 5 minutes every day, if it makes you happy, then just keep doing it.
Yes. How would you describe your content, and is there like a certain feed you stick to, or just more about like your Instagram?
For my Instagram, I know that there's apps out there that can help you with your layout and curating a feed with edits that look the same, but I really don't do that. I kind of just have been winging it and going with the flow. I love photography and editing. I actually studied it in college, and I feel like if I can show that through my Instagram, then it's really great. I get a lot of questions on how I edit my pictures, and I honestly just do it on Visco, if I edit them at all. And I kind of just wanted to be 100% authentic in what I feel like sharing that day. Because I think it's really transparent when someone isn't doing that. And if it's just for the views and the likes, and to come across as the certain image, I really don't want that. That's not why I started my account. And I kind of just want that to stick with me, as no matter how long I continue to do this.
No, that's great. I really respect that, because I feel like sometimes people not like try too hard, but like almost do, to kind of like have this like perfectly aesthetic feed, and like, I don't know, have like a certain like vibe to it. And I think that's like great and all, but I feel like kind of being just authentic in yourself will kind of gain that following eventually, kind of just being who you want to be, and the people who support that and the people who like your content will like come back and stuff like that. And I think that's what's most important, to kind of find people who are like true followers, and kind of not, because there are many like Instagrams out there that kind of want, I don't know, that are influencers or like lifestyle accounts, like fashion accounts, stuff like that. And so it can be easy to kind of be like, oh, well, like their photos look better than mine or something like that. But I think at the end of the day, you should want to have unique content and stuff like that because you are your own person. There's only like one of you. So why try to copy someone else?
Right. That's the number one thing. I mean, if you're just being yourself and putting the content that you want to put out there, that will come through more than anything else. And that's really all that there is to Instagram. You just got to be yourself on there. There's so many accounts that are just trying to be anything but themselves. And it's honestly, it's sad because no one wants to see something that isn't really you. They're following you for you. So
and it can be kind of draining to constantly be like, oh my god, like is this good enough, like should I post it? It kind of messes with your like head, I feel like. So kind of just like being brave and like posting it, I don't know, I've always kind of struggled with that.
Yeah, just do it, just hit the button.
Yeah, it's like really not hard at all, but I just like I'm ready to post and then I'm like overthinking it. I'm like, does this look good, and like stuff like that. It's just like,
yeah, it's easy to overthink. And also for wellness, fitness, and nutrition accounts, I know that there's so many differing opinions and different people that can and can't eat certain things or can't work out certain ways or don't want to see certain content. So I think it's just really important. Unfollow who you don't want to follow. You don't have to listen to everyone. And I mean, I'm putting out what works for me and what I hope might work for another person and might help someone else. But if you don't want to follow someone, then you don't have to. And you just can take what you want to take from someone's account, and you can listen to what some person says, and you don't have to listen to what another person says. It's all individual, and really important to remember that, because so many people can get sucked into that and get a little obsessed with what they're reading.
Oh my god, I couldn't agree more, because I felt that like, oh my god, like I have to follow this person because they have this many followers and stuff. But then when I learned that like it doesn't really matter, like they don't have like kind of any relationship or like value in my life, that it's not hard to kind of click unfollow, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like mental health is more important than looking at feed that kind of drains you or makes you kind of feel bad about yourself and things like that. So I think that's a really important point.
Yeah, 100%. Just follow accounts that lift you up and make you feel good once you're on the app and after you close the app, because other than that, what's the point? You're doing it to yourself by looking at content that makes you unhappy or question your own life or question yourself. So
yeah,
important.
What do you hope to achieve from your account, and what pushes your drive to create content?
I think just even if I could help one or two people, that would really make me so happy. That's all I really want from it. I mean, I created it for myself to just post things that I was learning along my own health journey. And I mean, getting even a couple DMs that I've inspired someone or that someone's listened to one of my recommendations, that means so much to me. I mean, gaining followers and getting even brand partnerships and stuff like that is really exciting and fun to do, but that's not the point of having an account where you want to help people. So I think it's just becoming comfortable tuning into myself and posting it out there for other people to listen to. That's really all what I want, and that's what pushes me to create more.
Oh, I love that. That's really genuine and important. What do you believe the best thing about having a social media outlet is?
I think this goes back to last question, just being able to impact people and having a space to curate what you want that's 100% you, and showing yourself through content, connecting with other people. The wellness space on Instagram, I mean, scrolling through my different feeds is really crazy. I have my personal Instagram, and then there's my health Instagram, and the difference in how I feel when I scroll through them is really crazy. Not saying my other account, I feel horrible when I scroll through it. I love to see all of those accounts too, but it's really like uplifting and nice to see people with the same passion and doing the same things as me every day, and posting them out, getting new recipes or new fitness instructors to follow and stuff like that. It's really it feels good scrolling on a feed that is 100% what you want to see.
Yes.
So I really think that's awesome, having an outlet where you can just really see other accounts that are in the same field that you want to look at.
I couldn't agree more. And I also have my podcast Instagram as well as my personal. And I just feel like I feel like it's just like an inspirational book when I go on my podcast Instagram. It's just like all these different like quotes and like ways of like being yourself and not comparing yourself to others, and just like all these like such like it just kind of makes me want to be like such a positive and uplifting person as well. And I feel like it kind of has like influenced me and like changed me for the better to kind of realize that like the purpose of life isn't to kind of like compare yourself to like this person or this person. It's more kind of to impact someone positively and kind of make someone's day a little bit better, because I feel like everyone goes through struggles, and I think it's important to put out like positive light in other people's lives. So yeah, I definitely agree with like the difference. But like I love both, but sometimes it's just like a nice break to just kind of not go on my main account and just like scroll a little bit. But
yeah, social media is definitely evolved in that way, because I feel like it started with Facebook, and that was to connect people with other people. I mean, stay connected with the people that you like.
Yeah.
So I feel like it strayed a little bit from that, but it's just important to curate who you follow and why you follow them. And then if you run your own account, just kind of be yourself. And for me, that's just to inspire people and put out what I'm learning.
Yep, exactly. And finally, what are some ways you live a healthy lifestyle, and maybe some things you can share for anyone interested in learning more?
I think just the main takeaways for living a healthy lifestyle start with the little things that you can do every day. Your life is consisted of the way you spend your days. So starting your morning strong and even ending your nights in the same way are really important. I think no matter where I am, if I am at my friend's house, if I'm on vacation, if I'm having a busy day with work, if it's a Sunday and I have nothing to do, I start my day the same way, with lemon water and turmeric and ginger. That's something so small that might seem silly to some people, but it just helps ground me, and I take the time for myself to do that. And it's great for your gut, which is great for your mind. And getting sunlight every day, getting in your steps, movement, even if it's a 20-minute walk outside, that can do wonders for your mental health and for your body. Eating from the earth, whole foods, getting in greens with almost every meal if you can. That's really good for your digestion, really good for your skin, all of that. Hydrating, have your water every day, all day. And then I like to, right before I go to bed, praying isn't for everyone, but it's what I love to do. And journaling, writing down even 4 things that you're grateful for that day. That really, there's studies that show how much that impacts your happiness. So that isn't, eating a cucumber, but it's just as important for your health. So for anyone interested in learning more about health, I would say just make sure that you're educating yourself. Like I mentioned before, not everything works for everyone. So we live in the information age, and you can go on Google, go on Instagram, go on YouTube and Facebook, and you can find the same topic and a million different opinions and different studies and different articles, products, influencers, and it's really overwhelming. So everything is trial and error and totally individual, and it's just really up to you to figure out what works, or to find the people that can do that with you, that can help you, and just listen to your body and your intuition.
That was beautiful. Yep, totally. And like what you said, I honestly agree with so much. I think kind of just being content with yourself and just like living your life, like setting goals, kind of staying in the present, not trying to think too much ahead. I feel like that can be very stressful and like overwhelming, and just realizing that there aren't only like 24 hours in a day. And if you can't get everything done that day, then there's always like tomorrow. sort of not like overworking yourself because like you think, I don't know, sometimes like your mental health is more important than something that you might feel like is more important, and not stressing over the little things, because like in the end you'll realize that they don't really matter, and worrying about them kind of just took space in your head that you could have been thinking about something more positive. I also agree with drinking a lot of water, because I feel like that just helps with everything, like your skin, the way you feel, like your overall health, well-being. And
I mean, even if you're feeling anxious, just chug a water and I guarantee you will feel better.
Yeah. And then regarding the food aspect of it, I feel like it's different for everybody. I think whole foods are like the way to go to kind of feel your best, but also not restricting yourself either, kind of having like a balance. Like if you want something like, I guess you could call like junk food, then like it's okay once in a while. As long as like you don't make it like a habit, I think that there's nothing wrong with like enjoying something that you like, because I feel like if you kind of restrict yourself, you're gonna want it even more and then end up eating more than you should. So
yeah, that goes along with kind of tuning into your body and what it wants that day, and listen to yourself and go easy on yourself. Intuitive eating is, I mean, it's annoying becoming like a trend on Instagram, but it is really important. It's just the basics of how we eat as humans. If you want an apple, you can eat an apple. If you want a cookie, you can totally eat a cookie and your body is going to be okay. It's just basing your diet and your lifestyle off of what feels right to you that day. And that's really what we should all just strive to go back to.
Yes. So just to wrap it up, what are some ways that people can get in contact with you or just like stay in touch?
So my Instagram is Brooke Hassett Health. And yeah, you can find me there. My personal is Brooke_Hassett, but you won't find any tips and tricks on health on that one. But yeah, and then my email is bhassetthealth@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brooke.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was really nice to meet you.